Our last presenter has been sitting next to me for the whole time and probably a bit tired from the cruise trip from yesterday. He's Mr. Niklas Bergh, and according to his own words, he's a confused writer turned graphic designer with a hint of an entrepreneur in him. He has a profound passion for communication. Niklas is last known to have helped create the brand Urbanears as one of its co-founders. He now pretends to write a book while unsuccessfully dodging offers to help a number of other brands with their communication. And he has no educational title. I asked Niklas where in Sweden he would take Finland's most famous ice hockey player, NHL star Teemu Selänne, out for cruising in his cars, because everybody knows that Teemu is collecting fancy cars. But can you imagine, Niklas has never even heard of Teemu Selänne. And he said that he couldn't tell a Ferrari from a Porsche, so that was the right question to him. But Niklas has a good solution. He would pretty sure let Teemu take the wheel, and they would drive home to Niklas's dad, who knows everything about ice hockey, and he would do this just to confuse his dad. We're so happy to have you here, Niklas. Welcome. That's Teemu Selänne.
Yeah, I actually Googled him. I know what hockey is. Yes, this is the microphone and this is the clicker. So about 11, 12, maybe 10, I'm not so good with numbers, years ago, I was working in Hornstull. This is Stockholm. It's sort of like Helsinki, but in Sweden. I was working over there and I lived over there, and I took a detour on the way home. You see that it's not the logical route to go, and I went past my friend Oscar, who had just built a new office for him and his friends, and asked what he was doing, and he said, like, it's kind of weird, but I'm trying to make headphones. And I said, can I help? Yeah, he said. And then that was the start of the company that became Urbanears. Have you guys heard about Urbanears? Good, then we don't have to explain that much. But we have to explain that Urbanears is part of a bigger company called Sound Industries. It's my fault that the logo is misspelled. I'm quite proud of that. Sound Industries. And we have 4 different brands: Urbanears, Cloud, and Marshall, which is licensed from the British amplifier manufacturer. We make headphones, speakers, and other things. You can plug into other things. Before we go on, I have to do a little bit of bragging. Where I'm from, in central Sweden, you usually get beaten up when you brag, so I'm saying sorry beforehand. Urbanears is probably the only brand in the world that was launched simultaneously at Barney's in New York, where Jay-Z buys all his clothes, and Clas Ohlson, the really budget, I don't know, home fixture chain store. We're sold in somewhere around 105 countries. Nobody really knows, because it turns out it's difficult to define a country sometimes. We were awarded the Dagens Industri Gazelle, which is the fastest growing company that year. And we had grown 10,932%. And that is mainly due to us launching our first products in November. So we had a really short first year, which gave us ample room to grow. And this is financial numbers and stuff like that. You can talk to other people about that. But we've, and also there's some years missing over here because the screen didn't really fit. But it's grown from a 8-person operation to like 100 people. It's been profitable every year. And now actually you can get good coffee in the office. We won a lot of awards, which is really cool to walk around with at the work. But what's unique about Sound Industries is that we won awards in a lot of different categories. Usually you just have a big shelf of awards from just design or fashion, but we won in all different kind of things. I'm especially proud of the fashion award. I like to walk around and ask people if they need advice on their clothing choice, or just tell them they're ugly. I also got to meet the former Swedish Prime Minister, and since we're abroad, I kind of used Photoshop to explain who he is. Before we go on, I need to explain. I also left this company a year ago. I still work a little bit, about 2 or 3 days a week with it. But and a lot of the things I show, usually after I talk, people think he's the guy who designed all the products. I'm not. I'm the guy who did. Let me take care of that. I'm the guy that designed the communications and the brands and some of the packaging for a while. I also used my Swedishness to go on paternity leave for about 2 years. The company was founded by 8 people, some of which have finished high school. None of who were women, unfortunately. The start of the company comes from... screw that. This is what the market looked like in 2009 when we started. The biggest selling headphone was the Kosporta Pro, which was launched in Sweden, that is. That was launched in 1984. Can you believe that? Since then, we had the Walkman invention, the Discman invention. We had kids selling the electric guitar and buying DJ equipment and standing like pretending to play music. Headphones were a big thing and nobody understood it. Like all these big players, the giants, Sony, Pioneer and all those guys were making a shitload of money on headphones and spending nothing on developing them. Urbanears, on the other hand, we had a whole different approach to it. The gist of the brand is monochrome products in just one color with the fabric details that feel more like clothes than a DVD player. You kind of bend over your head. We had minimal branding because nobody wants to walk around with a big logo on their ears. And we made a shitload of colors. Yes, use and wear, I covered that, didn't I? And we tried to make it accessible so that every product should be less than 100 euros so that most people could be able to afford it. Also, a large part of what we did, to me, we had a bit of a discussion on what marketing is and where the boundaries are. To me, the products are always the best marketing. And I always wanted us to do products that talked themselves and had inventions. You know, when you buy a new shirt and somebody says, "Oh, is that a new shirt?" and you say, "Yes, that's a new shirt." What if you could prolong that sentence and make them talk a little bit longer? So we made headphones that had some nice, really human-centered feature to it, like this Platta, which is the big seller, which was the classic 80% of turnover product for a while. We actually made a female plug so that you could plug people in and share the music you were listening to. It's quite genius. We had an industrial designer called Eric, and he's completely hopeless for 3 months stretches, and then he has one brilliant idea, and then he's hopeless for 3 months again. He's the best employee of the company, but he doesn't need to show up on the bad days. 4 days a year, it could work. One of the biggest problems with the smaller in-ear headphones is that you put them in your pocket and they just come out and you can't get them up, and you need to answer your phone while you're driving, and it's just impossible. It's this lasso. It doesn't work. But we made this living hinge plug that you can actually roll up and attach the cord so it doesn't tangle in your pocket. It's super easy, much easier than a lot of other technical innovations. Oh yeah, I have this one. And also the little details. Most people don't realize this, but we spent way too much money and time on actually coloring these dividers on the plug. And we actually lied to our CEO about how much it cost. So the most important factor for this whole thing is, I think, to start a headphone company from a basement in Stockholm, or actually not from an office even, you have to be really stupid, because the competition has buildings like this in like 40 countries in the world. They have engineers, they're super smart, and they have tons of money. But we just did it, and it kind of worked. And it was really weird. And those people, I think those people up there were a little bit worried for a while. But nobody bought us. And a lot of times it's really important to be that underdog, and it's such a big advantage. And to me, with Urbanears, we always tried to be a little bit different, be a little bit quirky, we like to say. And while other people spend a lot of money going to studios filming their product films, we spent very little money, brought a lot of beer and meat to my friend Tobias as a summer cabin and make our product movies on our own. That kind of concludes this. To me, this is my greatest achievement with Urbanears. Cheers. The packaging that I designed over the weekend with the brief, don't make it so fucking complicated, Niklas. And I made it really complicated, and I worked for 48 hours straight, and we only had an A4 printer, so I had to measure the paper with a ruler and kind of fold it on my own, and finally send it off to production, and it was pure luck that the product fit. I haven't seen any minute signs yet, but I think I would be done there.